Forgetting Ashville is an actual play Chronicles of Darkness podcast set in the fictional New England town of Ashville. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. Content warnings can be found in the show notes. We've talked at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same, so listener discretion is advised. Now let's forget our troubles. Last time on Forgetting Ashville, the group discovers that they have been trapped at Dan's cabin by a spell woven by John's mother. After a few tense phone calls, she summons a ghoul moth to antagonize them. The werewolves hold off the threat until Lola manages to transport the group into the hedge. There, they are warned that Lola is being hunted. The Fairest cautions the group to stick together, but Jesse is lured further in as the group nears the exit.
Everyone say your name. Not all at once. One at a time.
Aviva Caradonna.
Lola looks for who's going to speak next.
I gesture to Dan, acquiescing to him.
Dan Swanson.
John Taggert.
Lola Gardner.
And the mirror shimmers just a little bit. And you know it is safe to step through. Aviva, as the mirror shimmers, what you see instead are large black iron gates that open directly into the underworld. You can go in there without anything, but Lola does not seem to notice, Dan does not seem to notice, John does not seem to notice that they are about to step directly into one of the lower mysteries. You can hear the rushing of water.
Aviva charges forward and blocks the way.
Aviva.
Yeah, we're not going that way.
This place
Aviva?
plays tricks.
And that place has its own problems. Yeah, I've walked those paths. We're not getting near the underworld.
This doesn't lead to the underworld, Aviva.
Yeah, it does. I've seen it enough times to recognize it. You're not dying yet, none of you.
This place plays tricks on you.
It doesn't come up often. But sometimes you have to trust someone more than you can trust your own eyes. And this place is definitely that kind of place.
I mean, most places are.
What? No. Stop it, Dan.
Weirdly, it's that comment from Dan that seems to break through the
Yeah,
resolve.
don't be a Dan.
And
Classic Dan.
Aviva is midway through giving John this hard, determined look. She's ready to just tackle him, anyone who's going to try to cross her. But Dan says that, and there's just kind of this that breaks through, and it shatters the illusion of that toughness. She grimaces, pulls back, and eyes flicking to John once again for confirmation, and then to Lola. It's more frustration, but she puts her head down and walks out of the way.
Lola gives her a, an I'm proud of you smile.
That receives a sarcastic almost like a rejection, but it's not quite all that convincing in a look. Just one of those dirty glances that, oh, weird, it doesn't come with anything spoken to accompany that.
All right. Dan, Aviva, John, Lola. Dan, Aviva, John, Lola.
Can I offer you something for sale, love?
And this little guy just wanders up. He's green skinned, the classic idea of a goblin, not a weird, but just a literal goblin. He's got a hood and there's a big sack on his back, and he looks sort of glancingly all around at the group.
Offer you something, just a little bit of debt, and you'll find exactly what you're missing.
I don't need any dip.
What the fuck?
Is this one that I've encountered before?
No.
Okay. What's your name?
Darko.
Darko.
John's eyes shift to Lola. Shift to Dan, back to Lola. Kind of like a quiet, is this one of the ones we fight?
Lola gives a very subtle shake of her head. What,
You lost something back there, didn't you?
Lost a lot in this place. What are you offering?
I can help you find it. Or I could go offer it to find you. Whoever wants to pay the debt is fine with me.
I'll pay the debt.
Wait, Lola.
Okay, wait.
Where's the grubbler?
I
I think we lost him.
Darn.
Dan, hold your hand out or something. I don't know how it works.
Hey, you were okay with grubbling my fucking ankle back in the cabin, so...
That's not grubbling.
Okay,
Trust
what
me.
is... you know what? I'm not asking that question. Dan, how do we get the grubbler back?
Just, I
Hey,
don't know,
do
lay
you
on
have
the
the
ground with
mouse?
your eyes closed.
Yes. He's still here.
Okay.
She does not reveal the mouse.
You mean the grubbler, right? He, turns and gestures to the goblin like, "Ha, fuck you, you're not checking us."
He just gives like a little chuckle.
The goblin gets a really flat look from Aviva before she looks back. Grubbler.
Yeah, it doesn't work to call his name. You literally have to, close your eyes and, put your hand away from your body.
And you're not going to do that?
I'm not going to do
Lola
that.
puts her hand out to the side and starts wiggling her fingers.
Thanks, Lola.
He can stay here forever, as far as I'm concerned.
Nothing.
She proceeds to
Your
maintain
hands
that
remain
position.
ungrubbed.
She maintains the position as she continues to speak with Darko.
Jess is going to be heartbroken.
What do you have that I lost?
And when he says that,
Ah, fuck.
Lola stops mid-sentence and stops grubbling the air.
because you have successfully navigated out of the hedge, or could have, you're resolved, you are far away from where things had happened, and you realize that the four of you were once five, and it is not just the grubbler who is missing.
Fuck me running.
It's not as good as you think.
You want help finding the things you lost out there?
The one who was with us.
Hey, where'd you put him, fuckhead?
He didn't take him.
No, I just know where to find things.
All right, Darko guy. You're approaching us because you know something and you want something. What do you want?
He wants debt.
Well, you could just owe me a favor and I'll do you a favor now.
Seems really vague. Why would I do that?
Because that's how they operate.
So he's trying to get a hook on you?
Yeah. I'm the ideal one, but...
Of course.
Pull out...
Why not?
Sedative like fruit.
You pull out, in this place, a chunk of plaster.
Ooh. Where'd you get that?
I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Isn't the mystery intriguing?
You tell me where I could find me new shop, and I'll help to find your little guy. Call that one an even trade.
John looks to Lola.
You want the location
Well,
of
hey-
a new shop in exchange for finding our boy and bringing him back here to
Hey,
us.
Oh,
hang on a
bringing
sec.
him back? No.
Yo, hey, he said little guy. I'm a little worried about the taller one.
What's going on?
Don't worry about it right now.
Okay.
Jesse versus the grubbler.
Wait, Jesse's right here. Wait, holy shit, he's not.
God damn it.
God damn it.
So good.
Amazing.
Listen, I don't know.
It is a full conversation behind us. The whole fucking discussion. Holy shit.
Listen, I don't know how we didn't see it either, but
Because this place tricks us.
Does this goblin have a shirt?
Oh, yeah.
So I pick him up by his shirt.
No.
Don't do
Dan,
that.
let's
Put
not
him
assault
down.
people.
All right, you
His little
fucker.
feet are kicking in the air.
Dan,
We agreed we only fight when Lola says fight.
put him
I'm
down.
not fighting yet.
Put him down,
It's
Dan.
technically
Or
assault.
take a swing.
I like swinging him around.
Lola. God
That must
damn
be
it.
embarrassing.
So the first time Lola says put him down, I need a pencil because I'm doing stuff.
Okay.
She spends a glamour.
Mm-hmm.
When he starts to try and swing him around, she spends another glamour. It's a little thing called paralyzing presence. So as that second glamour is spent, what happens is Lola begins to grow as great and terrible as the dawn. She becomes slightly larger, very imposing. Everything that was strangely beautiful is now strangely beautiful, terrifying. And she turns to Dan, her voice distorted by just the sheer power of dreams. Put him down!
as Lola becomes beautiful and terrifying and terrible to behold, all the dancers around you stop. All the mannequins freeze in place. And everything that is visible is looking at her.
So this is a contested roll between me and Dan.
Mm-hmm.
This is Dan's composure plus weird.
Dan, for this, you use your primal urge.
Three successes.
2 successes.
Okay. Lola, what are the effects?
Dan suffers the insensate tilt.
So I think the goblin just gets dropped like mid-partial swing.
It just goes.
Just like,
As she does this, Lola makes her proclamation, and through the broken boards of the dance floor, grass sprouts. Submission.
yeah, he drops the thing. What? Fine. Jesus.
Hey, Dan, you okay?
She's being mean.
You're being a dipshit.
Fuck off.
Oh, hey,
Fuck
hey,
me
whoa.
yourself, you coward.
Okay. What? Wait. No, hold on. Lola, we gotta find Jesse, right? Dan, we have to find Jesse.
I know that. That's what I was doing.
So you gotta not swing the person we're trying to talk to around.
He said swing. Take a swing.
That's not what he meant.
You're being purposefully literal.
And you're being purposely mean.
Yes, I am, because being nice wasn't working.
It was fine.
A second little goblin face pokes out of the big sack on the first goblin's back.
Yeah. I agree with what everyone else is saying.
See?
Stop.
Hi, I'm Jack. Did you want to make a deal?
Does your deal have any more concrete terms than your,
I am setting the terms.
Darko, reaches back and sort of bonks the other face back into the bag.
He goes, "No, I'm making the deals. It's the same deal. Don't listen to Jack.
Don't listen to them.
Okay?
The bargain.
Yeah.
You return Jesse and the Grubbler to us. In exchange, you get the location of the safe place.
Well, that's a lot to ask to return them like that. And I can't guarantee he can get himself out of the hedge.
I will provide you a mount.
A mount? What kind of mount you got?
Lola kind of gives a whistle, and seemingly out of thin air, this sort of dream-spun fungus gorilla elephant walking on its front knuckles.
What is that?
That's my mount.
It walks right up and nuzzles against you. It's like weird elephant face gorilla trunk sort of snuffling around the dirt as it bonks ahead into your shoulder.
I will lend you my mount for the purposes of this.
That's not getting a mount, is it?
I will concede partial ownership, provided you treat it well and are not cruel.
Partial ownership.
I'm never here. But when I'm here, I get it.
Finding them is one thing. Bringing them back is another.
You'll have
And
a
bringing
mount.
back both is a third.
Where you'll find one, you'll find the other. But they
Maybe.
both have to come back.
Maybe. So to me, I think what a fair thing is partial ownership. Sure. That's fine. The safe place to set up me shops. That's a good one too. But to bring them both back. Safely. And listen.
And he sort of nods towards the just bizarre dream creature that is standing next to you.
Oh, I think you'd owe me one. Just one. For that. To make sure it's all nice and safe.
You're getting the esteem of being able to ride such a creature, and everyone will see you and know what a big deal you are. I think that's a favor enough.
I don't need esteem.
Can I social roll this guy?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
You're negotiating with a goblin. It's persuasion.
Presence persuasion?
Manipulation.
Does the mount and or plaster provide an equipment bonus to this roll?
Yes. You will get a 3-die bonus for the generous offers that you're making him.
And I'm going to spend a willpower on this.
Hedge burning a lot of willpower at this table.
2.
4.
Fuck.
He's not going to budge on this last little part. Now, to be clear, He did not exceptional succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You did not fail.
Yep.
So he's not tricking you, which
He could have.
goblins very easily can work up that little contract bullshit. But in order to do this, someone will have to accrue a single point of goblin debt. It is either you
It's me.
or Jesse.
I mean,
It's not going to be him. It's going to be me.
John's gonna head over to Aviva and kind of like sit next to her and kind of like lightly elbow her. How you holding up?
He kind of gets like a little elbow back. Her eyes flick from the bartering situation back over to him. Bartering situation.
Yeah.
Look, how about you?
I'm finding that this situation is different enough that I'm holding it together all right, I think.
I got a lot of questions. And you know what, fuck it. It's kind of nice just to get to trust Lola again instead of her being whatever her replacement was. So if that's what this whole situation adds up to, then yeah, I guess that's a good thing. But, you know, we're maxed out on mom issues, all right? Whatever the hell's going on with her mother and your mom.
He gives like a salty look.
As soon as the salty look happens, she cracks like a rogue smile at him and kind of elbows him again. That's definitely what she was looking for, starting that shit up.
Punk.
Dan's kind of walking in a small circle, like kicking stones and looking
man.
dejected.
John's gonna kind of hug him. Like, hey man,
get yelled at.
you're our baddest dude. We just need to keep focused is all.
I think you should have beaten him up.
He's tiny.
And she's scary.
It's just not fair to pick on tiny people. They already got a lot going against them in life.
What?
You can't reach like shelves and shit. Like,
All right.
If Lola hears this, she is deciding that she's ignoring it. I am not feeling anymore. I made that mistake.
Dan, you're the strongest debater we've got, man.
in the right times, you can send me in, coach.
All right, then. I think we got ourselves a deal.
And he sticks his little hand out and like reaches it up to you.
Shake on it.
Lola reaches down.
And he sticks his hand out.
She gives a fair shake.
Right, then. Well, I best be off.
You gotta tell me if you are.
Don't wander far. All right? And, yeah. Don't wander off.
Wait, hang on. What's going on over there? Because it's in the back of the audio, so tell the audience.
I'm sorry.
That was
No.
Garrett being very immature, and I'm not part of it.
It's a line I'm going to use if I have to interact with a goblin.
Good news, buddy.
Please use that on.
Yes.
Are you a cop? If you're a cop, you gotta tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, then. I best be off, then.
We'll be here.
And he sort of turns on his heel and then does like a limbo move where he just fully goes over backwards, like he's tipping over because of his backpack. And like the little goblin in his backpack reaches out and picks a flower off the ground, a little tiger lily, and then plucks it and pulls it and puts it inside. And then Darko just straightens back up. And Jack, in his backpack, looks at you and just goes,
Oh, this one's for free. If you don't leave the dance hall, for now, the folks looking for you won't find you. At least for a little bit. We'll make sure, Gotta be good to our word. If you get caught first, well, technically that'd be true, but we're looking for long-term business. We're gonna set up a shop.
and Darko just goes, shut up, and like sticks a hand back and like pushes him back into the bag.
Lola kind of looks to the three of you. Come stand over here with me, please.
Aviva comes over, but she makes sure to give John just another little elbow, as if pretending like she didn't notice she did it, and walks over.
If we stay on the dance floor, we won't be found as fast.
Then we'll stick by you.
And the mannequins sort of crack and move and begin to dance again. Jesse,
Hey.
you were just about to roll to
I
try and
was.
sneak away.
Yes.
And as you are, a little voice comes out of the darkness, and a little green face pokes out of the shadows. He goes,
Oh, you. Your friends pay me to come help you find you. So, I can't get you out of here safely. You gotta do this on your own.
As he begins to talk, Jesse will pounce on him.
Hey, come on! It's not my fault. You just don't want to get caught out here. Not with the briars.
Does he speak first tongue?
he does not.
So Jesse, trying first tongue in the wolf form, kind of like
Mate, I don't speak wolf.
looks back over his shoulder at the hollow. Where
There's another voice from this huge backpack behind him that goes, try a woo.
That's what wolves sound like. He's like, shut up. I don't want to make a mid.
Jesse will bare his teeth
All right, mate.
and start to open his mouth like he's going to take a bite.
Okay, just the flower lady sent me.
He lets his mouth hang open, and a little bit of drool just kind of like drip down onto him, and gives it a few seconds just to let the goblin sweat a little bit. And then we'll kind of slowly let him up and give him just a space of a step of room.
I can help you. I can. But you gotta be quick. There's her own wits out here.
The wolf nods to him.
She paid a debt, and, I'm a man of my word. So, quick, this way.
So you had the edge. You may go. You needed 9 successes. You only need 6 now.
Okay.
So both you and the hedge need an equal amount.
Spending a point of willpower.
Okay.
Uh, 11 successes.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
And if I recall correctly, because we're not in the thorns fully, your initiative is higher than its initiative.
My initiative's a 17.
So because your initiative is higher, and you got enough successes to get out with an exceptional success, more than but that means the hedge technically does not even roll. You just succeed. So, following the way to your friends, you can feel the hunger of whatever this place is behind you, hoping to confuse you and draw you further and further in. But now that you're here and you have this little weird guide who just keeps like jumping ahead, he's crossing distances in a way, like you are much faster than he is, but he's crossing distances in a way that
I'm familiar with, because I've done similar
Yeah.
things, but he seems to just be able to do it casually.
it's like when you're in a dream and distance and time and space almost have no meaning.
Yeah.
Where he just like takes 2 steps and he's half a mile ahead of
It's
where you feel
'cause-
like he should be.
Because I've occasionally been able to do that, but it's an exceptional force of will to be able to go behind a tree and step out from another one.
And in this place, it just seems to be his very nature to be able to travel the hedge like
Interesting.
this.
Okay.
And following him, you are so much faster, but it almost feels like he outpaces you. And occasionally, he'll see little flowers blooming on thorns off to the side and point at those. Like, no, not that way. Over here. To your sense of navigation, in the real world, this makes no sense. Even within the Hesil, it has a sort of logic, and the directions he goes seem wrong to you. But the more time you spend back here, the more you start to realize, like, okay, wait, there is a sort of, it's a dream logic, but there is a sort of logic, a sort of sense to how this place works. You're certain that if you step off the path again, you need to get the hell out of here. The longer you spend in here, the more you can feel that hunger building around you and behind you. Like this place wants you to step off the path again. More and more and more. But quicker than you expected. And honestly, quicker than he expected. You managed to make it out. And with your exceptional success, you, in all of this, do not lose the grubbler.
Excellent.
Who, unbeknownst to anyone, was also facing his own temptations here in the hedge. But with your exceptional success,
I
you
hang on
manage
to him.
to grab him.
I keep on trying to speak at him in first tongue and keep on getting frustrated because he
He just does not get it. And quickly he leads you towards what looks like civilization in a weird, broken storybook.
He stops there and kind of looks at him. And kind of frustrated, will shift back out to Dalu.
Right down there, you can see the dance studio. Don't talk to nobody?
How do you move like that through this place?
What do you mean?
You just kind of move around out of...
You're not
You
from
bend
here.
around corners.
Not if there's no corners. I guess it depends on how you look at it. Tell you what, mate. You ever want to learn that trick? You want to be a little bit more like me? You come back and find old Darko.
You're not a spirit.
I'm a spirited chap.
Spirits teach gifts. What are you?
Me? Just a humble merchant. You'll be able to find me at that place that you left.
The hollow place.
Your friend can find it for you. You come find me. And
What was that hollow place?
it's mine now. Doesn't matter.
The cave where I was at.
Oh, that place. You don't want to go there, mate. That's a wolf's den.
A wolf's den.
Sometimes wolves, they wander in here. And if you spend too long in here, well, it tears pieces of you apart down in the thorns. Changes you. You know, sometimes, well, that lot out there, I know somebody was hunting for a new hunting pack. You know what I mean? Anyway, you just want to head down there, all right? Look, you can kind of see the mirror down there. Don't stop, don't talk to anybody.
He glances down there and then kind of looks back at him. You said you can teach me how to move around like that?
Sure can.
And you can teach me how to navigate this place, get back to that wolf den.
Oh, I could show you back there anytime.
Can you teach me how to navigate there?
It's a little harder. Might take a little bit more time.
So, what kind of things do you require?
Little favors, little debts, little bits and bobs, that's all. Really don't cost much.
Gothra.
I'm sorry, what?
It's called Gothra.
Okay.
Bips and bobs. He like reaches into his pocket and pulls out some like pocket change. Like this.
Sorta.
Is that a yes or a no?
Depends on what you're buying, love. Now, hey, here's the deal, though. Your debt's been paid. I gotta make sure it's done before I take on any more. It's the nature of things. Isn't it?
Once again, Jesse pounces on the little goblin. Here's the nature of things. Uratha have spirits we deal with, and they teach us how to do things.
Guy?
Spirits have taught me how to eat things and learn from them.
Okay.
So I don't think I need you to teach me. I just think I need to eat you.
If
I'm
you
going to
could-
bluff,
Sure.
because that is a gift.
Yep.
I don't know it. But I want him to think that I do. Was this manipulation? Subterfuge?
Subterfuge manipulation.
Well, I'm down one on manipulation in Dalu, but I have a spec in bluffing.
Okay.
2 successes. Not very good, but...
He got 3,
Ah.
and he looks up at you and winks and goes,
Okay. Here's the thing. No wolf has ever caught me before.
and he spends a point of glamour and disappears.
Jesse will kind of huff, and he'll stomp over to the village.
You make your way down to the village. Those of you on the dance floor see Jesse coming.
All right. Is that one really him, or what's the deal?
That's him.
Because we all see it?
Consensus is the best way of determining things here, but it's not always an accurate thing.
And
But
just give him a look.
him.
It's him.
That's Jesse. He
Alright.
nods to Lola.
Then Aviva kind of lifts her hand and waves over to where the group is as the figure starts approaching.
Jesse, door's over here. We need to go.
He definitely looks kind of sheepish and like apologetic and kind of like lowers his head and nods and just huffs it over to where the group is.
You guys go through first.
Does he have to do the name thing?
No, that's just how I try and keep track of people. It hasn't worked yet, but it's the only way I know how.
Where's your grubbler?
Oh, he's here.
Hey, fella.
He opens up his jacket a little bit, showing a little mound of
Just
fingers.
a mound of fingers in there. Man, that place is messed up.
Is the mouse still in my pocket?
It is.
Okay. You ready, buddy?
Jesse, you got me in trouble.
Why? What did I do?
Let us
By not doing what
fly
you're supposed
from
to
this
do.
place, and I shall
What
be
did you do?
in your debt.
Try to threaten a goblin.
Me too.
You don't owe me anything, mouse. It's fine. Make a better life for yourself on the other side.
I cannot.
All right.
I am bound,
Then
as my
I'll-
lord is bound. But a debt is a great thing, even to a mouse.
What does his soul look like?
He does not have one.
John kind of nods and walks through.
Aviva walks through.
Dan pushes Jesse through.
Lola pushes Dan through. Well, Lola stands behind Dan, puts her hands on his back, and pushes until he goes through, but she's probably not physically moving him. But she is making sure she is the last one out.
And as the last one out, you step into the mirror and off of the dance floor and standing out in the street. Now that everyone is off the dance floor, you see a tall man in a long coat with a high collar and a wide-brimmed hat with some sort of instrument over his back, watching as you leave. Lola is the last one through the gate, and as you all, within a short span, find yourselves exiting, and you tumble through an old dusty mirror, sending a little poof of dust off the glass into a dark room. There's some light sort of streaming through some cracks in the boards over the windows in the front of this room. It's mostly a big empty space. One wall is all mirrors with a bar held across it. The bar is broken, so the part that you are stepping out of doesn't have a bar. And very quickly, you recognize that you are in some sort of old abandoned dance studio. Lola, as you step through, your mask comes back into place, and you are aware that you look like a human being. And this is the dance studio that you wanted to bring everyone to, the way back out, the way that you first entered and were taken to Arcadia. And with the eyes of the huntsman having been upon you as you stepped through, you know a few things. First, that this is that dance studio. You got everyone here safely. You know that. But it is old. It is broken. There is no equipment here. This place has been boarded up and not used for a very long time, and that sense of loss settles a little bit over you again. And two, you are aware at least a little bit of the ways of the huntsman. Back in your keeper's care, you got to learn a few things. You know that the huntsman is no fool. A huntsman is not a warrior, it is a hunter. And in the company of your friends, right now, at least in this moment, with the huntsman unprepared, he's not about to come get you. He's not about to leap through the mirror, but you know that you are pursued. There is a little mouse in your pocket and a little collection of handballs next to Jesse. The only two things that are not perfectly mundane until you look over and you see the wings on Aviva's back beginning to fade.
Oh, shit. And Aviva kind of like untangles herself, finding it a bit easier as the wings are no longer a part of her. It's no longer such an awful clump of limbs on the ground.
It's definitely the most successful night we've had in a while at our group regroup together.
All right, is everyone okay? Are we out?
Yes. Lola's kind of staring at the mirror they came through. If I break this mirror, can the huntsman no longer come through?
Oh, no.
Okay.
He will pursue you no matter what. He does not have to come through this way.
Yep. But does that limit his options at all?
No.
Okay.
I mean, he may not be able to come through this mirror, but every doorway, every portal is a way for a thing to come out of the hedge if they know what they're doing.
Lola takes her hood down and just starts walking the circumference of the studio. Every so often, a hand will come up and her long fingers will trace the edge of the mirror, the edge of the bar where she spent hundreds of hours. She looks at the place where the CD envelope was kept. She looks at the place where the boombox was, and she just kind of looks a little lost for a minute. What? Why isn't it here anymore?
Why is one not here anymore?
What closed the studio?
That is, I think, the nature of what the town has become like. A lot of places are closing. People are leaving. The town's fading away.
How long has it been like this?
I mean, John kind of stops himself from ranting about time and the illusion of it, but it has been a march towards an inevitable end of this town for some time.
Did my leaving make this place close?
I don't think that's really how a business works. Any business that can't survive the loss of one patron is a doomed business. This isn't your fault.
Ran out of clients. I heard she moved to the big town 45 minutes away from here.
Did they stop coming because I wasn't here?
I think they stopped coming because that's the nature of everything.
I think they
It's
stopped
fate.
coming because it's Ashville. Yeah?
I don't think I'd call Worcester a big town, but
It wasn't directly responsible to you. It was just people aged out, people stopped doing it, and there just wasn't enough clients to keep going.
I'm sorry that it happened, but it's certainly not your fault. And I know it's easy to blame yourself, but this place wasn't your responsibility. You never had any control over it.
Didn't I?
No. The memories still
Then why'd she
exist.
pick me?
All right, can you start from the beginning, maybe? How long have you even been gone? Or
I don't know what year it is. I don't know if the construct of time... I've been gone lifetimes, I've been gone a minute, I've been gone... I don't know. I don't know how long I've been gone. I don't know how time has passed here.
To those of you who have been in the real world, you would need a little bit more context of when she first disappeared. But
When did this place close?
this place closed like 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago.
Okay.
But if Lola had mentioned that she had been gone missing, that she had first been taken when she was a kid, that would have been before this by a good several years.
So, think of it this way. How old were you when you left?
14.
Okay. This place has been closed for 5 years, which means that it continued on for some time after you disappeared. It is not your fault.
Okay. She seems to want to disagree, but can't really find the space to disagree.
And some maybe unwelcome advice. When you try to understand the motivations of horrible people, or maybe even things that aren't people at all, you're doing yourself a disservice.
How do you fix them if you don't understand them?
I'm gonna be honest, Lola. Let's worry about you.
I'll be fine.
It's always a statement made by somebody who's generally not fine.
As long as you guys are fine, I am fine.
no, I'm not fine. I want some explanations. I think that we should is there food or some? Where do you sit down to have a conversation about whatever is going on with you being a fairy and you guys being werewolves?
As she says food, it does occur to all of you that, who the hell knows what happened with the time, and especially being in the hedge, but food and rest are both things that sound very appealing to everyone as reality sort of reasserts itself over all of you. And at the same time, John, your phone just ding, 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 like just dozens of text messages
Oh, no.
as you connect back to the cell towers.
Is your phone on volume? What do we hear? Or is it on vibrate?
Is your bzz, 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 bzz over, and then he takes out the phone.
Is there a cicada in here?
Practically. John checks his phone.
Hey, Dan, you around? Dan, where are you? Hey, Dan, are you interested in getting a drink? Hey, Dan, what's going on? Hey, Dan, did Jesse borrow my coat? Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan, you up? You up? Hey, Dan, you up?
His finger's just like scrolling.
What is like the time and date stamp on all of these? Are these from like a very small period of
So,
time or over?
As these continue on, there's a couple of, hey, John, I know we don't talk very often, but I haven't seen Jesse or Dan in a while.
Ooh.
Hey, John, hello? Basically the only and several messages from Ernie. Like, John. Fuck. John, where are you? John, are you okay?
I need
And
to
as
check
you
on-
look, just doing quick mental math as you get to the end of this. By the way, pepper with all the like, hey, Johns, there's still way more like, hey, Dan's you up.
Yeah.
Just, I want to make that very clear.
Naturally.
But you can tell how many nights it's been by how many you-ups.
Kinda. Doing some quick mental math. It's been about a week since you guys went to the cabin.
Okay. There are some things I need to check on. Because it's been a week that we've been gone. And he kind of like scans between everyone, waiting for some explosive reaction.
A week?
We've been gone for a week.
Is that normally how
How does time work here?
Normally normal.
Okay, well, if you're going to go check on things, you're not going alone because your mom just tried to kill you.
I think she tried to kill us.
I think
Or tried to not get you dead, but, rough you up. I don't know what sending a death beast qualifies for in your family.
I was not a death beast.
It was definitely otherworldly.
It was definitely otherworldly.
Wait, your mom did all that?
We don't know that for sure.
Like, hot witchy woman, your mom?
No, my mom.
Yeah. Like,
No, man, no.
What?
No.
All right, Dan, you've got a bunch of messages, so why don't you go ahead and check those?
Okay, cool.
He just walks over and presses his very nice expensive cell phone right up against the gigantor pecs that are Dan's chest.
He takes the phone and starts replying to them, telling them that he's been camping for a week.
Most of them don't really stand out. Some of them are just names or numbers you don't remember.
fine.
There's a couple that you're like, oh yeah, I kind of remember her. Like maybe spend a little extra time. No, not. The only one that's not a very clear "Hey Dan, you up" message is there's one that's just, Dan, I don't know if this is still your number. I'm worried about you, Jen.
Will someone please walk with me while I look for some things? I shouldn't
course.
be alone.
I reply back to Jen, out of touch for a bit. How about we meet up in a day or so?
You get a reply back pretty quick that just says, sure, sounds good.
I'll see you then.
You good, Dan?
Yeah, just the usuals.
Okay, phone, please.
No problem.
He reaches up.
Making her peace with the studio as it is, she walks out trying to find the office where she knows they had a small supply of dance supplies, either that had been donated or that had been available for purchase if girls found that they didn't have stuff.
Okay.
Specifically, she's looking for unused or lightly used point shoes or a leotard, or both. Ideally both.
So there's not really a leotard back here. Most of the stuff after this place closed was pretty scrapped out, but you can find a pair of point shoes that are used, that, you know, they're older, that for some reason hit you with this very intense sense of nostalgia. And you comparing them to your current foot size, they might be tight, but you could wear them.
She does. She like sits down immediately and puts them on.
Lola sits and laces them out in
And-
the dark, dusty place.
And there's a great deal of ritual involved in lacing them correctly, tucking the knots in. Just kind of like rises up onto the points of her toes and back down, and just like she's settling back into herself. There's a tension that's released that hadn't been released since this Lola had been back.
From over your shoulder, Jesse peeps up. Hey, I'm glad you found some point shoes there. Do you want to have us take you somewhere so you can actually get some stuff? I know we kind of raided the church bin, but you could probably do with, like, actually having some things.
I don't really know what season it is.
I mean, jackets are all season.
And you're gonna mess up your feet if you're in those on the road.
Oh, I'm not wearing these on the road.
Yeah.
These are just for dancing, but I needed them.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
I hand you this, like, black credit card.
The black card.
I need to go home, and I need to check on Ernie. Can you handle some shopping and maybe help Lola get situated? Is that okay by you, Lola?
I don't know where I need to go.
I know where you need to go.
Dan will have you covered.
It's weird. It's like you don't like shopping, but you recognize that he does.
Yeah.
Were those all coupons that you got on your phone?
No.
No.
Dan's a very popular guy.
Oh. Okay. I got it.
Just people wanted to know what's going on with me.
Dan holds up the phone and it's just clearly a message that said, "What's up?" Like,
Yeah, it's a lot of hey, big head.
Eggplant emojis.
Do you know that joke? Are you familiar with that? Yeah.
Yeah, we can get her some stuff. It looks a little dark out right now, so maybe we'll go to the diner and grab some food, and then we'll figure everything out. Once me and Jesse here, maybe get our cars.
Our cars? What are you talking about, cars?
Well, John had a car.
Okay.
I can probably get Aviva's motorcycle on the...
Yeah, but like, can we go back there? There was, I'm sorry, what do you want to call it there?
There may also be a rift in reality
Golmoth.
between...
Sure. Golmoth was there, and that's where all of our vehicles are.
Yeah.
Golmoth.
Yeah, okay.
That's why I figure me and Jesse can show up there, and
Well, I got other things I got to do.
It's a thing,
Four
it's right,
legs.
Technically.
we can get them a
Technically.
"Oh man, don't worry about
mean-
me. I'm fine."
Bullshit, you're fine. I got to bring you to a locus.
vehicle. I mean, I could probably just get the truck.
What's a
I mean,
locus?
you don't have to, right? Just
No.
There's no way
no.
that thing is supposed to be here.
Of course it's not supposed to be here.
It's not
gotta
supposed to
just take
exist
Stop,
at all.
back.
stop looking at it.
All right, man. I said it wasn't my fault.
I don't
And what
believe it.
happened?
All right, you guys need to all stop looking at the grubbler right now. Eyes off him.
Don't look at me.
What's the thing?
No.
What? Okay, first of all, are you good? You, like, disappeared for a bit and then got back. Are you...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
That is
Then-
a lie.
What about not looking at the hand thing?
That's because that's an abomination.
Lola goes over
It's
to
not
the
an
bar and
abomination.
starts doing
You're an
warm-ups.
abomination, you jerk.
He's a spirit. He's just not supposed to be in this side of the world.
Grubbler,
That's
you wanna,
true.
Grubbler, you want to go again?
Not while you're awake.
All right. So, Dan, you got the shopping?
Yes.
Thank
Let's
you.
go. Get this thing out of here.
Well, don't look at it, and it'll be gone. That's on you.
Dan starts moving to the outside. He's
Apology
very
accepted.
agitated at
Yeah,
the
apology accepted.
All right, tell you what. Here's the decision. Y'all are gonna go to the diner, get some food, and figure out where we can go to buy some stuff for Lola. John, you do you.
That's the plan.
All right. I'm glad that I'm making these decisions here for all of us.
You're articulating them.
That's right.
You get a very flat look from Aviva, and no response at this time.
You guys are all lucky to have me. And now, as a reward, I'm going to go take the grubbler, don't look at him, And we're going to go back to the locust and make sure he goes on the other side.
Don't perceive me.
Don't perceive him.
I've left.
Then stop talking.
So, Dan, you walk over to the door, because
Yeah.
fuck this. The door is locked and boarded up, and there's, like, boards over the windows. Once you get closer, you can see it is, like, probably twilight out, right? Like, the sun is setting, but it's not full dark. There are just boards over the windows, and everything is locked, so, like, you guys are technically locked in here.
How technically?
That depends on what you want to do about it.
I want to remove that door from its current place.
Yeah, man, make me a strength athletics.
Partially because of grubbler anger.
Dan, what are you doing?
I will give you +1 die from Grebler frustration.
That'll be 2 successes.
All right. So Dan does not fully pull the door off its hinges, but very clearly just pulls, and you can see, like, basically it was an old door, right?
Right.
And it had a wood frame, and it was deadbolted and everything. And the deadbolt just splinters the part of the door frame that was keeping it locked in, and just crack and opens the door to outside, just fully breaking the entrance to this place.
All right, we got a way out.
As we're walking out, I'm going to text myself the sentence, "If you need to contact me, I'll be with John." And I'll have that phone in my hand, and I'm actively looking for an opportunity to slip and get that phone into Lola's possession.
All right.
Once the party starts splitting.
Roll me a dexterity larceny, and roll me a wits composure with a -1 die penalty because it's starting to get dark.
Roll me a perception and see stuff.
No successes.
No successes.
All right.
So Aviva drops her phone.
Aviva quite deftly just sort of like puts it into your pocket. What are you doing?
Someone want a botch?
That's true. So, in the system, when you fail something, you may choose to dramatically fail that thing. When you dramatically fail, I will keep track of the beat that you gain. So there is a reward for just fucking yourself.
I'll dramatically fail.
Yeah, either one.
both
It seems like one. It seems like one of us should do it.
Yeah, I'll dramatically fail.
Okay. Aviva, you go and you slip it into your pocket. And Lola, you don't notice her put anything into your pocket. The dramatic failure, however, you will, and I'll hit you up for it in the future, you will, when you realize that there is a phone in your pocket, not jump to the conclusion that maybe somebody put it there, but it may prompt a clarity breaking point.
Okay.
Because you are not aware that it was there in the first place.
Yep. That tracks.
Big oof.
Yep.
Aviva, you slip the phone into Lola's pocket as everybody steps outside. Mm-hmm. And then there is a flashlight in all of your faces. And a voice says, "Hey, what are you guys doing in there?" Those of you who are from around town, basically the boys, will recognize the voice of the resident state trooper, Trooper Estrada.
Great. Jesse, seeing the flashlight and the state trooper, immediately yells, "We were doing drugs!" and sprints.
I don't know him.
Okay, before I talk about Trooper Estrada's reaction, does anyone else scatter when Jesse does this?
No.
No.
No, I think I'm just like, what? No.
I think I just start laughing, to be real. I think I just start.
Fairy comes up, I scatter with him. I scatter with Jesse.
So, Jesse, to jump into Trooper Estrada's POV for just a second here. He was just in the area. He is the sole police officer stationed to this town. Has been here for a few years. Saw that somebody had broken into the abandoned building where the old dance studio used to be. Sees a group of people. He hasn't quite identified everybody yet. and then sees Jesse, who he does recognize. Mr. I definitely spray painted the town sign.
We all do.
Go, real drugs, and run off. And then following him, he sees
That's slander. I don't know what you're talking about.
he sees Dolores Gardner go on a full sprint after Jesse.
In point shoes.
Nope, took those off.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Fully
Yep.
barefoot, sprinting off into the night. Then standing there in front of him are the other people. Now, to the other people, because Jesse and now also Lola sprinted off, he turns the flashlight to follow them and is like, wait, what? Jesse! The three of you have time to try and do something as Jesse sort of pulls attention for just a second. Or you just stand there. It's literally just a split second.
John will deadpan murmur, "They're getting away."
I mean, I feel like I'm on decent relations with Trooper Estrada. So
Honestly,
unlike my
he
brother,
does not have any problems with you.
Aviva is probably, if it's only that split second, she's probably checking to the reactions of the people who actually know this cop. So
You see two people sprint away.
she's too busy laughing because Jesse genuinely got her in the humor. So she's just kind of fucking giggling.
Jesse, I see. Jesse Swanson, stop! I see you.
You know that's not gonna work.
I know where you live.
Officer, I apologize.
He turns the flashlight back. Oh, hi, John. Hey, Dan, how you doing?
What's going on?
We just really doing drugs in there. What the hell is this?
No, we were not doing drugs in there.
Why are you breaking into buildings? And just like
Legally, we've only been breaking out.
you see the sort of flaw in the logic here, where you had to have been inside the building to.
Right, but he has no proof, so I'm like, your move.
Yes, my move, but like what do you?
Look, we were just doing some urban exploring. Nothing big deal.
Yeah, what Dan said, not what Jesse said.
You know you're not supposed to do that, right?
I
Like
know,
if you were up
I
at the
know.
factory, like trying to pull this bullshit.
Well, that's why we don't pull that bullshit around the factory.
Right. Fine. Was that Dolores Gardner?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Because her.
And yes, it was. It was. That was her.
Okay. All right.
Way to play cool, John.
Man, her. That's none of my business. Okay, I don't. She wants to do whatever she wants with Jesse Swanson. I don't give a shit. And he's starting to put the flashlight away, and like
now I look concerned when he says that. I'm like, oh no, it's not like that.
It's not illegal. It's not my problem. And he's like, rubs a hand. Trooper Estrada's like a handsome looking guy. He's like in his mid-30s probably. He's got that like classic. He's been here for a while, right? Like he's got dark hair still. It's not quite going gray yet. Fit. He looks like a cop who takes being a cop reasonably seriously. And he's looking around, and his eyes fall on Aviva.
She's been purposely quiet apart from giggling. She can't really contain that.
And his hand immediately falls onto his gun.
John kind of like steps forward.
John. Dan, might not put two and two together. John, Trooper Estrada was assigned to Ashville about 6 months before you decided to talk to Aviva.
Okay.
And Asheville doesn't really have a whole lot of like
Yeah.
major crimes, missing persons, definitely not burned bodies getting found. And he looks at Aviva and just goes, tries to maintain professionalism. Who's your friend?
What is in my field of vision behind him as I'm looking at him, Rob? Is there any form of sign, maybe a street post or a building of some sort?
So you are in the former, like, what used to be Main Street, right?
Yeah.
So it just says Main Street. There is a single traffic light.
Mm-hmm.
There is, you can sort of see down the street. It says, it doesn't even have its name. It just says local grocer. In that kind of like, it's a mom and pop place that's been around forever and they didn't bother to update it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a bar that just says Steve's. And then down the street a little ways, you can see the bowling alley.
Mm-hmm. So with Lola, her footsteps fading as she's running after Jesse, Aviva looks at Estrada and says, Layla Stevenson.
Layla Stevenson, huh? You got any ID?
She pats herself down as if she's checking her pockets. Shit, must have left it.
John takes a step forward. He's like, hey, you've still got your hand on your gun.
Yeah, I do.
Stop that.
You go to the academy, John?
What's that?
Do you know protocol, John?
I don't care. Take your hand off the gun.
Rebecca,
Yeah.
in this somewhat tense moment, you may feel free to roll me a subterfuge against him, contested if you like.
Sure.
Guy should have taken my cue. Cheese it!
What is the relevant attribute?
It's the fuzz.
Manipulation.
I don't know if I can outrun this guy.
There'll be a manipulation subterfuge.
This I will spend a willpower on.
You can only chase one of them.
Fair enough. Let me just roll Trooper Estrada's investigation here real quick.
Oh, crap.
Oh no.
Yo, cops in New World are fucking rough.
They are dangerous. Straight up.
So depending on how you do here, he is currently getting an exceptional success.
What is Trooper Estrada's first name?
Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
Eric.
It's not Eric. I know it's not Eric.
You sure?
Okay, I'm looking at 3.
Pretty good lie, weirdly enough. And if Trooper Estrada had not spent the early part of his transfer out here literally looking at photos of you all the time
That's not weird.
and investigating your burned corpse, and if he was not already suspicious of John, who in his files was the last known person to be seen with you before you disappeared, maybe it would have worked. Estrada's hand does not come off his gun as he turns from looking. Dan, you seem to be mostly forgotten in this, whatever the hell's going on.
I'm paying attention. I know something is up, but I'm not entirely sure what the problem is.
The whole scene gets intense, very intense, and Dan's like, I think something's up here. And he looks back at John and goes, I think maybe we all need to go have a conversation.
No. What do you think is going on here?
Well, I'm looking at a dead girl.
So that's what you're going to put in your report.
Yeah, if it's the truth.
If it's the truth.
That's why I want to ask a few questions. So,
Dan, I'm going to talk to the officers if you guys want to go ahead. He's not arresting anyone.
all right, John?
I don't think you are.
Well, because I got all three of you coming out of an abandoned building. Plenty of suspicion.
Great. And I will absolutely tell your superior that you're detaining us because you think there's a dead person walking around with us.
What I'm hearing from you right now is you are the reason that my reports get fucked up.
I think that you just said you see a dead person walking around, and maybe you sounding like a crazy person is your fault.
You really don't have any grasp on the politics of how this works, do you? Tell you what, so that sounds fine. Dan? He actually finally looks back at you.
What's his first name?
Shit, I forgot. Hold on. Nicholas, specifically. Dan?
Nick?
It takes him off. He, for whatever reason, Estrada has such a hard time being mad at you. Dan, I feel like I'm being fed a lot of bullshit here. And I've always known you to be an honest and upright guy, so you want to give me a little bit of a hint as to what's going on here? Or
I guess. I mean, I think everyone here is cool.
okay, Dan. I meant more like. Tell you what, let's start small. What were you guys doing in there?
We were coming out of there. Nothing important. We were just in there, and then we're not.
Mm-hmm. Where were you before you were in there?
Out in the cabin.
Out in the cabin.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I went out to look after your aunt filed a missing persons report 3 days ago on you and Jesse. And cabin's abandoned. Nobody's been there for days.
Oh, that's weird. I mean, we were there. I'm sure there's plenty of evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Because we drank.
Well, I found your truck. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of alcohol.
Found your truck. I found I found John's car. John, you were up there too, and and an unregistered motorcycle. So,
Okay, was anyone driving the unregistered motorcycle?
nope.
Okay, so that's not a problem.
Look, I mean, we were just having a good time. We lost track of time. I will go apologize to my aunt. A lot of liquor was involved, Nick. You know how it gets out there
Nicholas.
at the cabin. Right, sorry, Nicholas. I forgot you like it that way.
Tell you what, Dan, sounds like you need to go talk to your aunt.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong here otherwise.
Well,
I don't think anyone's done anything bad.
I have a cold case on my files that just got a new lead, so I need you to come by. And yes, I understand the procedure, John. Do you think it's going to be hard for me to get a warrant? So you can either come and have a nice conversation with me now, or we can do it the hard way later. Either one of you.
Do you want to talk with me then? If this
Sure,
is about
sounds
the
great.
case?
He takes his hands off the gun, pulls out a pair of handcuffs. So, you wouldn't mind?
Aviva does look over.
John glares.
She kind of makes a face at John, but sticks her hands out for the handcuffs.
Great. He
Oh,
spins
come on,
you,
Nick. We don't
pushes
need
you against the
handcuffs for
wall,
this.
and cuffs your hands behind your
I
back.
shove him when he pushes her against the wall.
God.
Well, now I got him on assaulting an officer.
Oh, I
so
was like, hold on. I'm going to try to interpose between John and
okay.
That's
I feel like that's
absolutely
super fair. So here's the deal. I want both of you to roll me initiatives.
Oh,
no.
Why'd you do that? Why did you do that, Lex?
Oh, don't you know we're playing a White Wolf game? Okay, 17. 17 initiative.
I rolled really badly, so I got 12.
Dan, you weren't expecting him to
Yeah.
just do that. I guess we're in a combat now with the cops. We're going to cut over to Lola and Jesse as you sprint off into the night.
Jesse, where are we going?
I don't know. I expected them to follow us. What are they still doing over there?
Should we stop running?
Oh yeah, no, I'm sitting here on the bench. He's just kind of like placed on a bench, maybe like a block away, basically. Like the grubbler's kind of just hanging out on his shoulder.
That was a wicked smart plan, man.
I know, but they didn't fucking take it.
I don't know.
What are you? She says to the grubbler.
Oh, he's a spirit. You know that feeling when your hand is like off the bed and you feel like something's touching you?
That's me.
That's him.
Yeah, I remember I had to keep my hands under the My Little Ponies to be safe from the monsters.
Feelings, aspects, things, they all have reflections in the Hasil. That's weird werewolf stuff.
It's all weird werewolf stuff. Werewolves are weird.
I'm a very important and powerful spirit.
Don't
of
listen to him.
fear.
That's not true.
I mean, I'm inclined to believe him.
Why you say hurtful things to me?
He seems like a straight shooter. She's deadpan the whole time.
God damn it. What are they doing with that guy? Come on, just leave.
Should we go back?
We maybe not. Me possibly.
I can't be alone. I'm being hunted.
What if the grubbler stays with you?
I'll
No.
stay here with you.
No. Because he'll hurt the grubbler.
We can hold hands.
We can do that anyway. That's fine.
Yeah.
She'll put her hand down for the grubbler.
He goes under the bench, and you feel fingers just lightly touching over your whole fucking hand.
Why do you make it weird?
I told you what I am. I am a spirit of fear. Very powerful and impressive.
I can respect that.
All right, Lola, what if I leave you here for just a second and
Because
do
the
something?
huntsman will come and they will take me back.
She's right, you know.
Oh, God.
What was the mouse's name?
Fuck, I don't know. He didn't have one.
Okay. What do you want me to call you, Mouse?
I don't know.
I'm going to call you Berries and Cream, you little weirdo.
That's a bold card for you to play, being the friend of the grubbler.
Will you give me?
Well, the grubbler is a spirit of weirdness. This thing's just like a talking mouse.
And you're a talking wolf.
No, I'm a talking person. I'm an Aratha, thank you. And when I'm a wolf, I speak in first tongue.
Okay, but when he's a mouse, he speaks in our tongue. Why is that weird?
Jesse gives you a look. And then,
She
and
seems
then- and then-
genuinely confused.
and then kind of softens a little bit as he kind of looks up into the left. Yeah, okay, all right. I guess my logic's not really solid there. We got to do something about this bullshit with the cop, though.
Does the mouse have a top hat?
If I remember correctly, he has a little like Robin Hood hat.
Okay. Can I call you Hoodie?
If that is the name that milady wishes to give to me,
If it's a name you want.
then I will take it.
You're Hoodie.
Right. I must warn you, as I feel duty-bound to return your gift of a name in kind, that the huntsman, the troubadour of great sorrows, he can see through my eyes if he wishes.
Then close your eyes.
I believe it would be safest for you if I was away.
Does that mean I can eat him?
No.
Also would not be my preference.
Where would you like to go?
I can just leave. I do apologize that in the future I am bound to my master's will as he is to hers.
I bet you taste like sugar plums or some shit.
Be nice to him.
I am being nice.
The mouse seems very off-put by the presence of the wolf,
All right, you can go.
even in his man form. And he sort of skitters down and like gives a wide berth to under the bench.
I was going to say, is he avoiding the grubbler? Because I'm going to help him avoid the grubbler.
And then just like a little mouse runs off into the woods.
Okay.
And disappears.
Bye, Hoodie. Sorry, what? What were we talking about?
We got to figure out something with this cop. All right, I got a stupid idea.
It's a start.
All right, stick to me and move like I move.
Okay. Should I just be invisible?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yes. All right, let's go.
No matter what game we're playing, Erika and Garrett Chaos Crew.
Yep.
So as Jesse and Lola set off back down the street towards where Trooper Estrada and the rest of their friends are, Aviva, you also get initiative now, as does Trooper Estrada, because we're just in it, I guess.
7.
That's what you got on the dice, Rebecca, or that's with your Inish mod?
It's total.
Oh.
Yeah.
First up in the initiative is, what did you get?
17.
Okay. Roll a die with me.
Wow.
3.
4. So, Aviva, you are starting cuffed.
Mm-hmm.
Estrada goes to just grab John. No, you're being pushed. You're pushing.
Yeah,
On my initiative.
On
if
your
he sees me coming next, then
No, he does. No, he does not. He does not actually see you coming yet. So
Okay.
you did win that initiative. He will be faster than you in the future, but
Okay.
he is preoccupied with Aviva. So he is cuffing Aviva currently. John, go ahead. His action, I guess, is yes, technically, since we are in it now, is to cuff Aviva.
I'm going to make a strength plus brawl roll to shove him.
Okay.
I have a strength rating of 2.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have brawl.
Okay.
I'll be going all out so that I have 3 dice. What's his defense?
7.
Okay, so now it's a chance die.
Thank you for giving a paper trail, because that was much funnier.
I didn't want to accidentally give the impression that I know what I'm doing.
With the yeah.
1 success. No,
It's
no,
a chance
it's a
die,
9.
not a single
It's
die.
a 9, so it is a failure.
Okay. John, describe you. I mean, you connect. He's just standing right there. Go ahead and push Estrada.
John is like, "Hey, don't cuff her," and he goes to shove him, and he just doesn't move.
He does not. He looks over at you. Just goes, John, you really want me to get you on assaulting an officer right now?
If you let everyone else go, absolutely. Hold my hands up. I'll answer any questions you want.
Oh, come on. We don't need to do that.
Hey, it looks like both of you were trying to pull something here. So, like, how about we all just take a ride down to the station? You can both sit next to each other in the back, and we'll all have a conversation. How's that sound?
Oh, come on, Nick. They haven't done anything.
Nicholas, come on.
Look, Nicholas. Nicholas.
You corrected your own correction, man.
Nick,
I'm
Nick,
sorry.
Nick, Nick, Nick.
Dan.
Look, I'm just saying.
So if I walked around going Daniel, is that?
That's fine.
Yeah,
I, can
okay,
call
I don't have time for this right now.
Look, I'm just saying, John means well. And Aviva.
Does he?
He does.
While they're having their exchange.
Wait, you just called me Aviva?
Super did.
Oh,
While they're having their exchange, John is going to look towards Aviva. And he is going to not say her name, but will kind of try to be quiet and be like, hey, if you're worried that my mother's the one responsible for that attack, you cannot go to that police station.
I feel like that's right about when he would say my name is the thing.
And, and he just like looks over like, you gotta leave. You gotta get out of here.
You know, bad things have happened in the past, but like,
bad things. What bad things happened in the past, Dan?
You're midway through a death glare from the cuffed Aviva after you say her name.
What bad stuff would they not want to talk about?
I'm assuming bad stuff that you're interested in.
Yeah.
But look, they're not bad people. There's plenty of bad people here. Come on, Nicholas.
In this town, there's really not.
Is it really worth it?
Yes.
What are you going to get out of it?
Closure on a cold case that's haunted me for half a decade.
There will be no closure on this. You know it.
5 successes on a stealth. Mind you, I exceptionally succeed on 3. So, question, Rob.
Yes.
What are the chances that keys got left in the vehicle? Because I feel like cops do
Pretty
that
strong.
all the time.
Pretty strong, Jesse.
Okay. And at some point, I'm going to start up the car and shout out the side. You fell for my trap card! And start driving off in his cruiser.
Lola, would you like to describe how you become invisible and where you are in relation to this, what's a good word, chicanery?
Lola is more frightened of the group being split up and the group being in harm's way than anything. She steps into the shadows after Jesse says, yeah, be invisible. And she just kind of like wraps her arms around herself like she's pulling the darkness itself around her. And then she just starts walking and she follows Jesse, trusting that he knows she's there. And so when he hops in the car, is there a moment when he opens the door that she could jump in ahead of him?
You didn't coordinate it,
Okay.
but I will let you roll an athletics dexterity to try and slip in before he gets in there.
1 success.
Okay, yeah, you can, like, Jesse, you feel something push past you, like, just brush past and get into the car and, like, clamber over, presumably into the passenger seat.
Yep.
That tracks for Jesse. So he gives wide berth as he slinks into the car himself.
As Jesse shouts, she slides through the radio stations and tries to figure out how to put on like the big cop speakers, whatever like raucous 80s band she can find on the radio station readily.
Yo, we are straight up goblin energy.
Yeah,
This is
we are.
bad.
This is bad.
bad.
Estrada is looking at you, Dan. Looking over at Jesse, looking between all three of you. He very definitely noticed when you said Aviva out loud, but like somehow is still caught up in like arguing with you rather than just like doing what he said he was going to do.
Right.
And then the lights start blaring and
Rock You Like a Hurricane starts playing.
Rock You Like a Hurricane starts blaring over the police loudspeaker on the car, and it zooms off down the block as Jesse yells, "You fell for my trap card," out the window.
I will also spend a point of essence, so Estrada will have a hard time remembering that it was specifically Jesse that did this with his vehicle.
Literally the only reason Jesse is not already in prison.
Yep, 100%.
While we're approaching this very, very tense scene,
Yes.
may I harvest glamour off of Officer Estrada?
Erika,
Yes.
your harvest roll off of Estrada as you're speeding away down a car. So I want you to roll a wits empathy -3 die penalty. -2 dice because it's a rushed harvest because you're speeding off down a car.
Okay.
And -1 because it is merely a momentary emotion. This kind of annoyance is not like his personality. It's not his like deep-seated emotion.
I'm spending a willpower to have 3 more dice.
Okay.
So I have 3 dice now.
Willpower for glamour.
2 successes.
You may gain 2 glamour. Notes for the future. That is the only time that during this scene that Estrada can be harvested. You can only harvest from someone once per scene.
Gotcha.
You feel the sense of like annoyance and frustration and this like deep-seated I'm almost at answers. Like really the overwhelming thing he's feeling right now is frustration.
Yep.
And you feel it wash over you, but you are strong enough and in your understanding of emotions and your empathy that it doesn't wash you away. You can stand firm as it washes over you. And you take in those feelings. Mm-hmm. You harvest the glamour. You are down willpower. And those of you who are still here see Estrada just like the frustration kind of goes away a little bit. Like he's still frustrated, right? But like that intensity of like, God damn it, melts a little bit. And instead is a little bit more like calculating personality as this happens. Fucking shit. Don't. God damn it. And with no more time left, he lets Aviva go and will go to move to grapple and just grab John.
I have no defense.
He still does not quite exceptionally succeed, but he does manage to grab you, and then instantly you are turned around. A reflexive action, you are zip-tied. You're like, he only has 1 pair of cuffs, but
he's got the flex
in
cuffs.
one smooth motion, your arms are behind you and you are flex-tied almost immediately. And you find yourself like, not fully on your knees, but just like up against the wall next to Aviva. Dan.
Nicholas.
Do me a favor. You got a cell phone?
No.
Dan, you can take my phone.
I'll get it out of his pocket.
All right. What's going on?
And he gets the phone out of his pocket and hands it to you and goes,
I have a gun.
he reaches down and like pats John's pockets to like, okay, which one's the cell phone in? Not having yet had even the opportunity to do a full pat down.
Yep.
Feels a bulge in his pocket. Pulls out a...
You might want to rephrase that.
I don't want to rephrase that.
Okay.
Pulls out a gun. Huh.
It's in the other pocket, officer.
He doesn't say anything. Keeps holding onto the gun. Pulls the phone out and dials the only cab company in town. A cab pulls up in front of the abandoned dance studio. Estrada is standing there. He's not drawn his gun, but he still has his hand on his hip. Aviva, you are in handcuffs. John, you are zip-tied with your hands behind your back. Dan, you're just sitting there. Estrada looks annoyed, but Dan, maybe not as frustrated as you feel like the situation maybe would call for, considering who you can only presume is your brother, just stole a cop car and sped off. But somehow, like, his emotions have been deadened a little bit, at least in this moment. He's not reacting. Erika, num-num noises. He's not reacting quite as intensely as maybe you would expect him to react. He sighs, looks at you as the cab pulls up, Dan, and says, do you need a ride? Or can you get yourself back to, call your aunt or something? She was asking about you.
I mean, I can't call anyone because I don't have a phone.
How do you still not have a phone? You gave me your phone number.
No, that's
my
John's
phone
phone
number.
number.
Oh, my God.
Nicholas.
Do you consent to giving Dan your phone?
Yeah, that's probably for the best anyways.
He pulls it out of his pocket. He hands it to you. I'm trusting you not to delete stuff off of here. Like, I can still get it if I need it, but it's a huge pain in the ass to go through the... So just...
I mean, you lose a lot of good things if you did that.
Wait, what?
Never mind.
No, what does that mean?
He
What
uses
good
it for
things?
dating.
He just sort of pushes the phone at you.
Yeah.
Look, Nicholas, would it help the situation at all if I got your car back?
You know what, Dan? Yeah, it would help.
Okay.
That would be great.
Let's not do anything rash.
I'm not doing anything rash. I feel like I've been perfectly reasonable.
I'm just I'm just laying some groundwork here.
Bullshit.
I'll get your car back, and I'll meet you back there, and I'll bring some food, and we can all just figure out what this is, and then we all can, like, just be cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll accept that. It's a bargain. All right.
Sounds good. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for being reasonable. And he turns and he opens the back door of the cab, and he puts a hand on John's head and begins to push him into the backseat of the cab.
John, like, instinctively struggles a moment, but, like, there's a glance towards Dan of kind of like he doesn't say any words, but he's definitely like, hey, that was a pretty good job there. Like, lets him get shoved into the car.
Scoot over, John. And he puts a hand on Aviva and starts to push her into the backseat as well.
Yep. All right.
Closes the door, goes around, and sits in the front seat. All right, Dan. You can call the station if you need to get a hold of me. You got my number anyways.
Yes, I do. It's in this phone.
All right, well, let's be reasonable. And he closes the driver's side door, and the cab starts to pull away, leaving Dan outside the studio.
I better go figure out where they did with that car. Jesse cannot drive.
Jesse and Lola. You have Lola, if I remember correctly, you are invisible.
I am invisible. Unless there's a camera in the car, but I don't know that.
As far as you know, you are invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse, you're in the driver's side, right?
Wearing this awesome state trooper hat that he left in the car.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So are you trying to, like, peel out and do, or just... Okay.
No, I'm just trying to figure out how to work this thing.
Okay.
There's so many levers and pedals.
There are a lot of extra things in here.
Grubbler, work those pedals down there. I can't do the freaking... I can't do this steering wheel and these levers all at the same time with those.
Jesse, I'm not a machine spirit, man.
I don't care. Just push them.
Okay, Jesse, roll me a drive, and with the Grubbler helping you, take a -2 die penalty.
That's a chance.
I'll allow you to do either Dex or, like, Intelligence, to figure stuff out. Whichever one you think you want to do here.
So... My dex is 4.
Oh, okay.
-1 for being unskilled.
Okay.
-2 for the Grubbler giving me assistance. That leaves me with a single die.
Which is
not a chance
not a chance die.
Just a die. No successes.
All right. So the car starts to lurch down the street. You manage to, like, turn a corner.
Oh. I'm going to spend a willpower so he's better at that.
You want... All right, man.
I mean, I appreciate it. Now, my smug smile from earlier was the fact that I was like, man, we should be playing... It's basically Lola, Grubbler, and I playing Trash Pandas. or Crash Pandas.
Crash Pandas?
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Oh, yeah, unless you say, Lola, I've got this, she's gonna try and help because she's a helper.
I mean, he probably looks like smug and self-satisfied as he's, like, obviously, like, going up onto the curb.
It's the plan all along.
So, answer me the question. Are you spending the willpower to give him the extra
I
dice?
am verifying that. If it comes up the ferry, I'm spending the willpower.
Okay. Fuck it.
I am not spending the willpower.
Okay. Lola, you were taken when you were, like, 12.
14.
14, 12, 14. Like, you have not been in a car.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've been in a car, but, like, you don't know how to drive a car.
No.
You're starting to kind of understand, like, the time displacement here. They're all older. You're older. Like, it's Jesse knows what he's doing. Look at him. He's full of confidence.
Yeah.
And
Flashes you a big smile while not looking at the road.
And as he's not looking at the road, plows through a mailbox. You did not botch, Jesse. This was not a dramatic failure. And so you have not trashed the cop car, but you have done some damage, and now you are up on with, like, one of the, it's a front-wheel drive car. One of the front wheels is up and just kind of spinning, and, like, because you have hopped the curve, and you think that little deflating noise, like, there's at least, like, an air leak or, like, a tire may have gone as you rolled over some stuff.
Jesse just kind of looks down at the pedals. Grubbler, is the air system down there?
Jesse, I don't know what I'm looking at, man.
Look to see if there's anything leaking.
Not
Hang
from
on.
the car.
Hang on, I think the air conditioning's on. That might be where we're springing a leak. And she pushes like the air conditioning looking buttons trying to help.
Hold on, let me see if this lever does anything. He starts just kind of like jacking the shifter back and forth in between like drive, neutral, and reverse, and
Somewhere in another universe, Miles is weeping.
The horror on Tim's face right now.
but he's not putting it into park or he's not braking, so he's really just putting it between drive and neutral.
And it's just like the wheels will spin.
It won't push back any further. Yeah.
Yeah. At one point, you just pull up the emergency brake and then back down.
Is that like a mailbox? Is that like a personal mailbox or like an actual mailbox?
No, that is like an actual federal mailbox.
Oh, jeez, I think this might be actual like a felony or something because that's the post office.
Well, then don't we need to ditch the car?
I don't know.
Jesse will fuck with all organizations, but not the post office.
They're fucking dangerous.
Okay, man, so what do we do now?
We
What's
gotta
the plan here?
I don't know. But slam on the pedal.
He slams on the pedal, but he's just pushing on the brake. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's fundamentally incapable of knowing what he's doing in this situation.
Suddenly we go into reverse.
Dan.
Yeah.
They didn't get super far. They weren't real quiet. They got, far enough away where, like,
I was jogging for a little bit.
You were jogging for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you were a very fit guy.
Yeah.
You can get there. It's not hard to figure out where they are right now.
I jog up to the window and knock.
Roll me an athletics plus dexterity for me.
Oh, okay. Not if I hit everything. Nothing. 4 dice, no successes.
So you're not going to take any damage from this or anything like that. But as you
roll
run
an
up to the
ankle.
window, the car suddenly lurches into reverse off the sidewalk, and you are clipped by the mirror. As Jesse, Lola, not so much the Grubbler, are suddenly aware that, like, it's been a few minutes, and
Lola,
Dan is here.
I think I hit somebody.
Well, we definitely have to ditch the car now.
It's me
Damn, where have you been?
dealing with Nick.
How did you get here? We were driving so fast.
He rolls down the window. Kind of pokes his head out. He's wearing both the Mass State Trooper like kind of like wide brim hat that Estrada left in the vehicle, and a pair of sunglasses that he probably shouldn't be wearing at night.
All right.
Did you put the car in park?
No,
I'm probably walking along
It is
with him.
slowly going backwards down the street at this point.
Okay. Push the left pedal.
Grubbler, left pedal.
He pushes it and it stops.
Okay.
Wow,
Now
you know left from right.
I'm
impressed, my dude. He does a little lot of like finger jingle down.
Finger jingles up.
Okay, now put it into put it in the park.
Oh. Lola moves the lever to the P.
He like smiles. Nice.
All right.
Look at this. We can drive a car.
I remember how to read.
Now get out of the seat
Why?
because I'm taking this car. Obviously, you can't drive it.
Dan, there is a flat at this point you're going to have to change.
I'm a police officer right now.
You are not.
And I do not think that you have the right to kick me out of here.
He just looks at him and he's like, "Bro,
All right. Don't get so furious. We're family. No, nothing.
no."
He pops open the door and gets out.
All right. He immediately pops open the trunk and like starts getting through. I was like, "Look, what did you hit? Is it a
Everything.
mailbox that I saw back there?"
We hit everything.
Yeah, don't tell the post office. That we could get in serious trouble for that.
You can. They're crazy. He's gonna start repairing replacing the flat tire.
I'm not even going to make a check for that. Like, you work on this kind of stuff all the time. Replacing a flat is not a big deal.
I have specialty in crafts, so
Yeah.
for cars.
Honestly, if you want to roll it, you can just probably, like, tire patch it right now.
Yeah,
without
only if
having
they
to
have the
worry about it.
supplies. I mean, but
Yeah. Rather than just putting a spare on, like...
sure. What's that roll?
Patching a tire?
Yeah,
That's-
give me strength.
Yeah, that's more.
Give me strength, crafts.
You fell for my trap card.
Come on, dice pool, don't let me down.
You get an exceptional on this, you don't even bother with the jack.
Just makes eye contact the whole way through.
That is 5 so far. Five.
5 is an exceptional success. Not only does Dan manage to patch the little bit of damage that was done to the tire, just refix everything. In the back seat, there's an air pump, so you can just reinflate after it had slipped. Dan doesn't even bother with the jack. He just sort of hefts with his legs and just puts the fucking tire refix it, puts the tire on properly to patch it and just put.
I probably recruit Jesse to help me with that because it takes
Take a 2 dice penalty, please.
You just do what I say.
I feel like you could even push out the bit of the car that got scraped.
Yeah, honestly, with that, hey man, unless Estrada might not even know that there was damage. If you with an exceptional, honestly, you can probably, it's not going to be bolted to the sidewalk anymore, but you could just write that mailbox too.
Don't unding those things. He'll know that we stole a car.
He finishes it off with a nice
Certain-
wash.
Certainly weren't my doing.
All right,
short
Jesse,
shorts
get in the
out.
back seat. Should be familiar for you.
Actually, I'd like you to
should be
know.
familiar.
It should be familiar. It's not.
Oh, okay. Well, good job. I'm going to take you over to see our aunt so you can make her feel better. I'm going to pick up some food for them at the police station, and hopefully we can de-escalate this whole thing.
There's still someone running around with my face, isn't there?
Lola says, appearing in the front seat.
What?
There's Dolores is still in town, right?
Oh, that she looks like
Wait,
you. Oh.
Back it up. Sweet. Did so he didn't try to come after us as we sped away?
John said some things to him that made him really angry. And then John had a gun, which yeah.
Why?
It didn't get better. He tried to push
why
him.
is John so dumb for being so smart?
He's got.
I told you guys to cheese it.
I wasn't gonna do that.
Come on.
So John,
Somebody had to run
Where?
distraction.
I'm just
so
look-
John
look at-
still knows that a tomato is a fruit, but would put it in the fruit salad
exactly.
and not think to call it salsa.
Exactly.
Okay.
Get in the back
See,
seat.
Dolores knows.
No.
She's been here for
No.
an afternoon and she gets it.
No. Lola knows.
I'm sorry, Lola.
Dolores is a pile of compost running around with my face. Does she have any pull in town?
Maybe. I don't know.
With maybe some of the weird church groups or the PTAs. I don't know.
Would it help if she called and tried to get them released?
I don't know.
We'll let Dan try to do his thing because he's good at smoothing with guys like Estrada. They talk about lifting and stuff. We'll give
Lifting
him
what?
Weights.
Oh.
So
Each other's spirits.
Chicks. I don't know. What do you want?
Morale.
Dan, all I'm saying is, and I want you to look at me for this.
Yeah.
If you guys had just cheesed it like I said, what would we be doing right now?
Getting John out of jail because he's very slow.
No. I said if we cheesed it.
Yeah.
I'm very hungry, speaking of cheese.
That's what I'm saying. We'd be eating cheese right now.
Okay, get out of the back seat. I'm driving.
Which one of
Wait,
us
get
is
out of the back seat.
Get
you're
into the back
driving?
seat.
Okay, yeah. Just get your story straight, bud.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
You guys have a very wholesome dynamic.
Do you
and I
need
really
Grubbler to
like
work
it.
the pedals for you?
I definitely do not.
I don't want to do this no more.
He can stay down there.
He immediately scrambles into the backseat with Jesse.
Oops.
All right, let's just he kind of leans up against the I don't know, is this one of the trooper cars that has a cage in the back, or is this more of kind of one of the more relaxed cruisers that
This one's a little bit more relaxed.
okay, yeah, so
Just
so
like
he,
a partition.
yeah.
so he just kind of hangs up close to the driver's behind the driver's seat to watch what you're doing. He's like, all right, let's see what this is about.
Dan successfully works in automatic without having to make a check.
I have 2 points in drive.
Fancy.
Fancy.
And
I will drive us to the combination bowling alley diner.
the state trooper vehicle
Yes.
pulls off downtown. In the cab, Estrada's sitting in the front seat. He's not really talking too much. The driver in the front does a little hang-up card. Hi, I'm Eric. Estrada in the front seat looks at Eric and goes, "Hey, take us to the station, will you?" And Eric in the front seat just like, "Hey, yeah, sure, trooper. Like, what's going on? Where's your car? Hey, what's going on? Where's your car?" And Estrada looks at him and just sighs and goes, "I want to deal with that in a minute. Eric, I just really need you to take all of us to the station, please." The two of you in the back notice something that neither Eric nor Estrada seem to notice. And that is there is a third individual in the front seat. They exist only in twilight. Big chunks of their body look like they have been ripped out. And they died a horrific death. As in, like, it looks almost like some sort of fucking horrible, like, machinery accident. Like they fell into a combine and got torn apart. This ghost, sitting in the front seat of the car next to Eric, seems barely aware of the world around it. It is but a pale shade. Except when the two of you specifically are in the back seat, it sort of makes a small moaning noise and looks behind at the two of you for just a second in agony and fear, just like it died, before turning back around. Looks like maybe a woman in her 30s before she died. And in the moment that she is turning around and looks at you as if she was suddenly aware that something else outside of her own misery exists, you could see, as if it was branded, a missing piece. Not just like a chunk, but like a missing piece in the perfect shape of a brand on her ghostly forehead that looks like a stylized skull with a cog in its forehead. And Estrada looks at Eric and is like, "Come on, man, just hurry it up. I'll, you know I'm good for it." And Eric looks at, "Yeah, sure thing, trooper," and drives off across town to a what looks like a white townhouse. Just a regular home, which those of you who have lived in town know that the first floor of which is the police offices, and like Estrada's office or whoever the resident state trooper happens to be at the time. It's been Estrada for about 5-6 years now. You know that downstairs there are holding cells in the basement, and then upstairs is Estrada's apartment. The state essentially pays for this house and has an embedded state trooper for towns that are too small or too poor to be able to afford their own police stations. Procedure here is that, like, for major stuff, he would call out to the state troop barracks for, like, assistance or state major crimes or things like that. And Estrada gets out of the front seat. Eric and that poor damned soul continue to sit in the front seat. And then Estrada opens the side door. This time it's because you guys are facing the opposite way. He opens Aviva's door. Or actually John's door, because you scooted across. He opens John's door, pulls John out. "All right, Muirhead, come on inside. Thanks for the ride, Eric." Goes to, like, gestures towards Aviva to, like, scoot across the bench and come out.
Before Aviva comes out, there's a small strange motion, just like a sympathetic tap tap. She can't really do it quite right with her hands cuffed behind her, but there's that sort of understanding wince towards the ghost. And this, I imagine, sitting on top of the center console, effectively.
So essentially, yeah, like, if it was bucket seats in the front too, it would be sitting in the middle seat. It's not,
Yeah.
but it's like, yeah, right where the gear shift and everything is.
It's not much of a communication, just that sort of acknowledgement of the pain and situation. She takes that moment to memorize that strange symbol before turning her attention, before scooting out as requested.
As you both get out of the car, go ahead and both of you roll me a perception check. Just wits composure.
Mm-hmm. Two successes.
Okay.
7 successes.
Jesus. Good perception, mage. Aviva.
Mm-hmm.
As you're getting out, Eric, his last name is Campbell. Right? You see, like, his full little local practicing license. Get the impression that he's, like, the only cab driver in town. And you also see just a variety of little, like, He's wearing a jacket, and he's got all sorts of like little pins and stuff on his jacket. It's like it's a denim jacket, and he's got all sorts of little, like cause pins and band pins and all kinds of stuff. One of the pins that you see attached to his jacket, just kind of nonchalantly in the middle of all of them, is a stylized human skull with a cog on its forehead. With 7 successes, with an exceptional success, John, you see all the same things. You mark that pin, which is identical to the thing on his forehead. And the other one that draws your attention, maybe because this is the kind of thing that you have been looking for and not quite sure how to explain to everyone else, is a Toolmakers Union pin, which is a little strange because he's the town cab driver and shouldn't really have any affiliation with the Toolmakers Union. He also, on the other side of the jacket, because he's got buttons and stuff too, has a Vote Castro button.
Castro
specifically, yes.
He kind of jerks at Estrada's hold on him and
come on, man.
Trying to get another look in the window.
Calm down.
Castro.
And Estrada, as you're trying to look in, thumps twice on the trunk, and Eric drives away.
Fuck.
What's the matter, John? You got a problem? Let's
You
go
wouldn't
inside.
understand.
No, I don't think I do. That's why I want to have a talk. Come on. And he, with a hand on sort of both of your backs, guides both of you towards the front door of the station.
Castro.
Aviva gives John a weird look as he keeps repeating Castro, but tries to send over a little bit of a smile to try to it's purposeful to try to de-escalate.
He looks at Aviva as if reminded of something and gets and just looks mad at her.
That provokes that smile to turn into a okay then fuck you face, and she looks away.
Estrada opens the door, guides you both inside. I wanted to have this conversation right now, but I have to. Well, it's not really important. I'm gonna have you in holding for a little bit. You're gonna fill out a little bit of paperwork. You decided you want to talk a little bit earlier. That's fine. But in the meantime, and he starts to guide you downstairs to the holding cells.
He kind of leans towards Aviva, kind of trying to talk to her, but not overly draw Estrada's attention while he's doing his thing. This is gonna sound really stupid, but my mom needs to not know about you.
Aviva's still being a little petty, so at first there's a half glare as he decides it's time to communicate, but she hears him and she moves her head back and forth like she's kind of weighing it. I feel like it's not gonna hold as a secret for a while.
You have to try.
And with that, Estrada walks back in real quick after having put both of you on the bench, brings you both downstairs into the basement. There are 3 holding cells down here, all individual, but they're old, right? They're literally there's bars, and he opens 2 of them. So there's bars facing out into the hall, but there's concrete in between the cells. Puts John into one, and then hesitates for a second, and then puts Aviva into the other one, unless she fights him on it.
She doesn't fight him, but as there's a hesitation, she definitely looks and tries to assess what that is.
Yeah, roll me a wits empathy.
No successes.
Tough to tell. He opens the cell door, gestures in.
Failing to kind of get a grip on what that hesitation was. Her eyes linger on him for a second, but she complies. She goes in.
He closes and locks both the cell doors, and then says, "All right, backs against the cage. Stick your wrists out for me."
She does so.
John kind of sighs but complies.
Aviva doing so, he reaches out, takes the cuffs off her hands, puts them back on his belt, and then goes over and just, with one quick motion, cuts the zip ties on John. Goes to go back upstairs, stops, and then looks back at the 2 of you and goes, "I'm not..." Stops, looks really hard at Aviva for a minute, and then looks over at John, and there is just naked suspicion and dislike on his face when he looks at John. and goes, "Your mom's not going to get you out of this one this time." And then he turns and goes back upstairs.
John hides it, but he looks a little confused at that.
Yo, your mom sucks. Why would she get you out of this?
My mom has sway through the town. I don't know that this guy even has say in the matter.
Yeah, but would she get you out of this?
If I gave her something.
Ugh.
But you, I don't know.
You don't know what? What? What's the thing?
My mom uses people, breaks them, makes them into puppets, controls every aspect of their fate. Crossing paths with her lets her decide your future, sometimes even your past. If she was to get a hold of you, you would be hers.
She can fucking try.
I don't think...
Listen, I get that she's your mom, but I was already going to break her nose at minimum for that whole, what'd you call it, anti-Thanatos or whatever. So...
he sighs.
Seriously. Like, I can skip town if that's how you think that, like, this secret's going to keep. But the second she sees me, if she gives a shit, she's going to recognize me, no?
Yes. But there's no sense in tipping her off when we're not ready.
All right, so what's ready?
I don't know yet. But I know this isn't it.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, I'm not good with you going to jail, all right? So that's not how this is ending, so we need a plan. And the way that I see it, this guy already seems weirded out by this town, so why not give him a little information?
Because if he's owned by the wrong people, we're giving it to them.
What's your thought? How do you want to do this?
Ever since you were gone, people have looked at me a little differently. And I don't really have a way to explain that that I didn't do it. But he, and he probably isn't the only one, is pretty convinced that I did. So I don't know. He's going to be up in arms and probably irrational.
Well, it's nice to hear you admit that you didn't do it.
I didn't say he was wrong.
I did. She's definitely, like, you can hear the smile. You don't need to see it.
So long as he doesn't get your prince, and as long as he doesn't take you anywhere.
Okay, if I, like, ask for a civil defender, then we're just gonna be in here until one comes. And that could be days, or I don't know what their scheduling is. I don't have lawyer money. And what am I gonna fucking tell a lawyer? Like, hey, don't tell them anything because there's nothing to say. Just put you in for breaking and entering, assaulting an officer.
I don't know that he really has you in anything.
He has enough. And if people already are treating you different, that's not going to help your case.
If he had a case, I'd be in jail already.
Where are we?
We're in a holding cell.
Okay.
Hardly the same thing. People end up here getting drunk.
If I were him, I would pull us separately, right, and ask us the same set of questions. What the fuck answer we got for the fact that I'm dead?
What have you usually done?
I haven't talked to anybody who knew who the fuck I was. I died, and then I woke up in the underworld, and I spent a long time climbing my way back up. And when I got back up, I had the Geist with me, and she seemed really lost, and I already lost everything. I mean, I didn't know how to get back here when... How was I supposed to come back when there was a burned body in the ground and my parents were already murdering me? I mean, they already sat Shiva. They don't need to go through that again. And the Geist, she just seemed like she was trying to figure out who she was, so we spent some time trying to track that down, and, it didn't go that great, but, yeah, I usually looking around and coming up with a shit fake name is enough, or dodging into another place to avoid some guy I saw from high school. Most people kind of just back down.
His eyes kind of lower a little. Well, maybe maybe he made a point of detaining us because he knows something's going on.
And?
Maybe he said what he said because he doesn't work for my mom. And if that's the case, we can make this work.
So, you're down to give him a little bit of information. Because that sounds like a 50-50 to me.
Bad things happen when people learn about the things they shouldn't know. So we have to play it smart.
Rob, I'm gonna do a thing.
Okay.
Actually, before I do that thing, are there cameras down here?
Oh, yes, there absolutely is a camera down here. That being said, now that you're looking at it, the camera currently seems to be off. Why he would turn the camera off? Unclear.
What I am looking to do, Rob, is
Yes.
I am looking to merge with my geists via shroud in order to slip through the wall between the two of us and just go hang out with John in his cell.
Roll me your synergy plus your shroud.
I will spend a willpower.
Okay.
Two successes.
All right, with 2 successes. So you gain the shroud condition. You spent 1 plasm, so you have 1 charge.
Mm-hmm.
You and the final girl merge once more, but unlike last time where she warped your flesh into something ghastly and monstrous, now you really start to take on her form and the purely ghostly appeal. So describe what happens and what you do.
There's a pause, and Aviva gives the wall separating the two of them a resentful glare. But that makes a thought take hold, and with that thought comes action, and she transitions into a ghostly aspect. Her eyes cloud over. There's a sense of mistiness around her, this overlay of death, and she becomes transparent and much as you would think a classic ghost would look, showing as dead as she is. And with that, she steps into the twilight, walks through the wall, and reappears next to John, soon dropping that same shroud to be herself again. And just kind of casually sits next to him like he were on any bench.
John kind of watches her creep through reality with like a morbid sense of curiosity.
And she makes herself comfortable, looks over at him a little bit sideways. Look, sure, we can get ready to deal with your mom and all that shit. Let's do it together.
There's a slow nod. Did you see that person that was in the Uber?
Yep, and I saw a pin on a jacket that looked an awful lot like what had happened to her.
They're all over town. And they are changing the way existence flows through this town. They want something. I don't know exactly what.
When I was coming in, there were a bunch of car crash memorials. I mean, I stopped at one. Put a rock there, pay my respects, like you might with a flower, I guess, but seemed like way too many for a small town like Ashville, and now there's someone who basically looks like they went through a wood chipper. You think that there's something connecting it?
I think that the car accidents are a cover for the people disappearing. And I think the cult is doing it because they're building towards something. And something strange happened from when we left to getting back, and I don't know what caused it. Did you see the vote for Castro stickers?
No. I thought the sign said Castro, for real?
Yeah,
Seems like a bold PR move to shift up all that.
instead of Taggert.
Yeah.
I think those are the same signs, the same stickers. I think their truth has changed.
Do you think other people are seeing that, or is that a you thing?
I think people don't care to see the difference. There's all sorts of little nuances. Street corners where everyone walks backwards at a certain time. Or traffic flows up and down instead of forward and backward. Little hiccups in reality that the world by and large ignores.
So, okay. How dark and deep do you think that this is gonna go? Because this seems real, world affecting. Even though I get it, it's just Ashville, but how big a problem is this?
I think if one person's died because of this cult, it's problem enough. And unfortunately, I don't think it's one person that's going to be dead because of it.
Are you good to, go after this shit? Because I know where I'm going if that's the case.
Where are you going?
To mess their shit up.
He kind of smiles.
Come on, I got friends on the other side. Somebody's got to represent them.
That's fair. That's fair. Something is moving these pieces. My theory is that it's my mom. And if it's her, time, fate, the illusion of distance between things, it's all easily commanded by her. It's not going to be easy. But we got to do it. And if she tried to remove us from the equation in such a dramatic way, there's a good chance that she sees us as a threat. And she knows a threat when she sees one.
Good. She's got good eyesight.
But I don't know how much she knows about us.
I don't know how much we know about us. We got a lot of catching up to do, and hopefully we can do it before we face down whatever the fuck all this is. But what I'm hearing is that I got permission to break your mom's teeth a little bit.
That would be an exaggeration of the permission I'm giving, but let's go with it for now.
Seriously, she sends, what the fuck did you call it again? The fancy name.
Gullmoth.
Gullmoth. She sends a gullmoth after you and you still, what, that's too far?
There is a consequence for the kind of understanding that she has. And she will have been at the razor's edge of it her entire existence. And if she's gone over the edge, it's perfectly possible that she can come back too.
Aviva makes a face being confronted with compassion and rationality. It's clearly not her. It's not as much fun as the anger, but she kind of punches John in the shoulder a little bit and turns her back to him so that she can lean up against him. And goes, ugh.
Well, she's looking the other way. He kind of rubs his arm. But then he kind of puts an arm around her and just kind of...
Fucking nerd.
It'll be all right.
Forgetting Ashville is an actual play Chronicles of Darkness podcast set in the fictional New England town of Ashville. Aviva Caradonna was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Dan Swanson was played by Tim Davis. Jesse Swanson was played by Garrett Gabbey. John Taggert was played by Lex Lopez. Lola Gardner was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Rob Muirhead. Recording and editing by Rebecca Steigelfest. The music used in this episode was by Victoria Borodnova. You can find their music on pixabay.com. Forgetting Ashville uses the 2nd edition Chronicles of Darkness rule sets, including Changeling the Lost, Geist the Sin Eater, Mage the Awakening, Werewolf the Forsaken, and other Chronicle source materials, with a few select house rules. The Chronicles of Darkness are produced by Onyx Path Publishing. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at @PathOfNightPod, on Facebook at facebook.com/PathOfNightPodcast, or email us at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. You can help support the show at coffee.com/pathofnight. See you next time, Outsiders.
Let go of me.
No.
I have a gun.
No.
Erika, are you okay?
No.
Okay.
Breathe. Breathe.